Hey, it's A, and today I wanted to talk about my Techo Kaigi. Techo Kaigi is a Japanese term meaning planner meeting. And in the planning community, generally it means you're going to talk about your planner system, the things that you're using, what's working, what's not working, thoughts around your planners, and just sharing and kind of brainstorming what you are going to use your planners for. This is my planner stack. It's a planner mess right now. Um, I'm going to try to go through this in an order of like most to least often used. And I realized as I started filming this, the first planner that I started talking about was not censored well. It had some addresses, it had some personal information. And so hopefully, this second take will be the one to last through to the end. I'm going to take a minute to stack these up and then we'll get going. So, as far as most often used, these are kind of my four core planners. Um, this is my daily planner, or my weekly planner, as it were. And I actually have no idea. Hang on, I'm going to make sure that this page is not. Okay, so it it's fine. This is how I use this. This is always how I've used this, uh, with some changes to the structural setup. But essentially, I have anything special about the day, um, anything that I'm doing that day. So, like actual plans as they come up, what's in the mail, what I have to do this week. And then I've started tracking my spending. So, I have a little bit of that set up differently on this day. So it's the same setup, except for the spending is going to be in these boxes per day. Um, I am in this all the time. I carry it with me constantly. And um, this is just my life. And it's in a Hobonichi Weeks in the Tamagotchi cover, with the Tamagotchi cover on cover, mostly because I didn't have a clear one. Um, and this is, yeah, my day-to-day like life planner. Um, Probably my only real planner, as it were, because the rest of these are mostly journals. So, up next, we have this one. This is my next most frequently touched. I carry this with me everywhere. This is a Hobonichi A6 5-year cover on cover in the Anane design. I love the cats. I went crazy trying to find the original cover, and I could only find the 5-year. And then I got this, and I loved it so much that I really went crazy finding the original cover. Got the normal Hobonichi cover with this design, decided I didn't like it, and here we are. But this houses first of all, this cute little guy who was a gift from Wendy Sue at Fountain Pen News. Um, so I'm very happy to have him. I hung him off of the pen holder because I don't really hang pens off of here very often. And then this is a Midori One Wet Day, one page A6 notebook, and it fits in the 5-year cover perfectly. It's a little bit fatter than the Hobonichi A6. This is a Hone, so this is also a little bit fatter. Okay, so this one is my hobbies and interests notebook, or my special interest notebook, or kind of a commonplace journal, except for I don't write other people's information in here. I kind of just write my own thoughts, feelings, and opinions pertaining to my hobbies, as well as a lot of lists. I have a sticker book in the front. This is from the Traveler's Company. I got these stickers from Sticky Club and these from Mosserico several years ago. These are going to be used to track how often I go to the gym this year. But I'm actually tracking that in my Hobonichi weeks, so I need to move those over. So in the front, I have the pens that were inked at the beginning of the month, and then the pens that I've inked since then on the days that I ink them. I'm just keeping track of how quickly I'm inking pens and getting, like, cleaning out pens and etc. And then in the daily pages, I essentially make a date at the front. I stamp the date that I'm writing in, and then I write for as many pages as I need. Sometimes it's 1 page, sometimes it's like 5 pages, sometimes I don't write at all. So I think this undated daily setup is perfect for me because I don't have to worry really about how many pages I'm using so much as just like getting the information out. And there's still some minor structure there, but overall the page is like really free flowing. So the types of information I write in here, I have my Techo Kaigi list of notebooks for 2026. I have the list of decks that I started the year off with. I have some thoughts on this pen that I got, a pen wish list, my fountain pen collection at the start of the year, ink thoughts, video game thoughts, fountain pen collection values. So, like, the things that I think about when I'm thinking of buying a pen, ink wish list. These are my censored pages, thank goodness. And yeah, so the main things that I keep track of in here are like stationery, video games, and magic and books sometimes. Very seldomly books. But I also just kind of use it if I need note paper for like, for example, I have notes on therapy that I attended. I could keep these in there, and that's part of the censored stuff. I have notes on my pen pals and like keeping their addresses in here, also censored. So this really is like my whole brain in a book. It's not something that I could easily dispense of. It's something I would be devastated if I lost. I've been doing this for about 3 years now. Previously in Hobonichi, A6 original journals, and now transitioning into the Midori MD One Day One Page. I just feel like it's such a good fit for my use case. And I'm really enjoying it. So this year, this is such a huge hit. I'm using it even more often than I initially thought I would. We're gonna move over here to just grab this little guy real quick. This is a journal to my husband. We're both doing this project this year where we are writing to each other every night. And it's going well. I have like pictures of us in here. I keep some song lyrics that remind me of him. And sometimes I just write like, thank you for doing the dishes today. I really appreciated it. And other times I write like a whole page about like, you know, something we did that day together, or something I noticed about him or like a memory that I have of him. I don't necessarily know that that is how he is using his, because we're not sharing them with each other until next year. But this is something that I'm really excited to be doing. It's in the Hobonichi Hon, in the Mother 2 cover. And I'm just really glad that I decided to do this because it's been an exercise in appreciation, which I think anyone would benefit from if they have a partner who they love very much. And finally, the daily stuff. This is my journal for the year. I'm not going to go flip through the pages because it's very private. This is a Hobonichi taut cover in the Cafe au Lait. I got it for a really good price secondhand. I was really grateful for that. Um, in here, I just have some washi samples, some stationery, and then I just write every day. I might include some stickers. I might include some ephemera. Um, let's see. So I have this postcard that Wendy Sue sent when she sent over some ink samples for me. Or, yeah, was that? No, I don't remember. So, oh, sorry, I bought a pen off of Wendy Sue. And everyone else I have been swapping ink samples with. So, anyways, she sent me a whole bunch of other stuff in the package, and ink samples was not one of them. But um, lovely, lovely person to receive mail from. So that's really easy. I forgot to mention, this is the Hobonichi Cousin. Uh, so it's the A5 size. I write as much as I need to per day, up to a page. If I have any additional thoughts, I have a place for them elsewhere. Um, so that is what I've been working with daily. Next, I'm going to talk about the things that I don't use nearly as often, but are still kind of a part of my system, as it were. So, give me 1 second. So, here are the remaining 4 notebooks that I brought in here. I'm sure I have other notebooks that I'm using for other purposes in other places, but as far as like the things that I use frequently, this is kind of the extent of it. Um, so to start, this cover houses a Midori MD Codex with blank pages, and it is my ink journal. So I do keep a lot of notes on like day-to-day reviews and things in my hobbies notebook, my special interest notebook. This is kind of where I will swatch all of my inks. I keep my monthly uh, currently inked lists. I am tracking some of I'm tracking the pens I ink in each month, um, just throughout the year. And I'm realizing that I perhaps did not give myself enough room in each month because it's midway through January and I have like maybe space to write one more pen. And I think I'm about to finish 2 pens worth of ink. So I'm about to write down 2 pens, so I'm going to ink up 2 more. Um, so we'll see how that goes. And then I also have like just a list of my pen collection, and I'm doing little circles of like what I ink them with. So when I ink them, just see how often I'm inking them and what colors I'm putting in them. I thought it would be interesting, and I obviously didn't think it through very well, or I would have set it up differently to where I could actually see the inks and the ink properties that I have for each pen. So that might be something I do later. But yeah, I most recently did some sample swatching and realized that sample swatching is hard. It's hard to do on camera. You have to be entertaining while you're watching ink dry. You have to be careful because you're using inks and water a lot of the time and various utensils to do all of this. Um, and you have to be aesthetically pleasing, which I'm not very good at, but this is pretty organized. So I feel like that was an accomplishment. Just don't look too closely at anything and we'll be fine. So, yeah, this is my pen and ink journal. It's huge, mostly because I didn't really want to I just wanted a lot of room and I wanted to use the codex. And I didn't want to swap out my ink journal regularly especially because I'm keeping track of like my entire fountain pen collection or fountain pen ink collection in here. And I just want a lot of room for that to grow. And not have to redo it all the time in different notebooks. So yeah, that's my fountain pen and ink notebook. Next, I have another codex. This is in another Hobonichi cover by, now I'm forgetting her name, Yumi Kitakishi. This is from last year, and I really liked this cover. Took me a while for this to grow on me, but once it did, I really wanted it, and I found someone on the BST group who was selling theirs, and it was a good price, so I got it. And that's how I get most of my things, from the BST group. So I don't know why I opened this. This is my overflow journal. So anything, and like daily pages or morning pages when I choose to do them. So anything that doesn't fit in my daily journal, I will just move over here. I try to end a paragraph in there and then I'll start in on a new paragraph in here. Or I'll finish my thoughts in the first one and then think other things in here. But yeah, I got this sticker from my friend Anna. She went to Japan and I love Bulbasaur. So she got me this. It's very cute. So that's all I have to say about that one because I don't use it too often. There's not a lot of days in my life where I need extra space more than an A5 page to write my thoughts on the day. But it is very useful on the days that I do need that space. And also on the days that I decide to do morning pages because I kind of like morning pages. I just don't have the diligence to do them every day. And these are two more hobby focused journals. This Tomie cover I got also off of BST for a really good price. Really grateful. But this is my K-pop journal. I realized this year that I have a lot of K-pop albums from like the years 2018 forward. And a lot of those K-pop albums have photo books that just take up a lot of room on my shelf. And so this year, what I'm doing is I am just making spreads with photos from the photo books. And I'm going to listen to each album and review the albums and just talk about my thoughts and my favorite songs and things like that. And then at the end of the year, I'll have far fewer photo books and far more intentional memories with my K-pop collection. So this is a picture of Baekhyun from EXO, and specifically Super M in this photo. That's I think all I have to say about that. It's a new project. One I started rather spontaneously. This is a Midori MD frame journal. So it's blank, but it has this like specific frame and border around it. And I really like it. So I wanted to give it a good purpose. And then the last one, I love this cover. I customized it myself. These are hot dang press, permanent, semi-permanent iron-on stickers. And this is my reading journal. I haven't been reading a lot, and my goal this year is to read more. I have been purchasing a lot of books, and my goal this year is to read what I have. So I set up pages for When the Moon Hatched, which I was trying to buddy read with a friend. I set up pages for the Truth Witch series, which I'm trying to read all the way through. I set up my TBR for 2026. And then I wrote a review on a DNF of Beautiful Things by Emily Rath. And then I made a page of DNF bingo. This is through Izzy from Happy for Now's Discord, her Read What You Own Discord. She has a bingo board for DNFs for various reasons, but like things like the one that I was 60% or more through a book, and I DNF'd. But it's also things like humor doesn't work for you, annoying main character, racism, too dumb to live, grammar or spelling errors, read a better version already, homophobia, like reasons why you would DNF, or like instances that you DNF'd, like no good reason. So that's really fun. And this is Astrology A5 notebook. And I think that's it. That's like pretty much my whole system. I have a lot of notebooks. I think the only one that I remember that I didn't show off today is like my magic catalog, which is just like when I really want to write something, I will just take a deck of my magic cards and start writing the names down in a notebook and catalog that deck. For no purpose, just for the purpose of writing something, because I like to. So thank you so much if you watched this whole video. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you are using, at least one thing that you're using this year that you are enjoying, or one thing that you're using this year that you haven't been enjoying and are maybe getting rid of. So far my system is working out great. And like surprisingly great, because usually I drop all of my planners in January, February, all the way through May. So I'm doing good this year so far. I will talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.